third generation Parkinson's. My dad had it and his mother. I tell bad jokes, write bad lyrics, do bad skits, so you're going to see how bad this gets. Bad parodies of songs.
I don't think so. Only the
I
start.
hope you'll cut me a bit of slack because, as you know, I've gone through a lot recently. I never did find a parking spot. I've gone through a lot. And
Yeah, we got it. We got it. It was just that bad. It was that bad.
Well, you know, I've got two boys, Michael and Eric, and they usually park my car. They're my Parkinsons. Okay, seriously now. I'm trying to make it louder. Is that better? Okay. So, let's see if I can find it. Okay. Seriously, most of you know that I did pass a kidney stone a couple months ago. I had a rough time, but everything seems back to normal now, almost. I had one of those good news, bad news conversations with my doctor. And I said, what's the bad news? And he said, well, you still have Parkinson's, so you won't be moving fast. Plus, you've been diagnosed with kleptomania. I said, that's weird. I said, that makes no sense, but what could the good news possibly be? And he said that if I took things very slowly, I should be just fine. Okay. I didn't believe him at first, just like you guys. I was skeptical, so I went across the street to the police station, and in slow motion, I took their toilet. Surprisingly, I got completely away with it. They wanted to arrest me, but it turned out that they had nothing to go on. Okay. I'm going to step away from the mic. And
Finally.
I just want to make sure everybody is met Haley, our gallery owner and hostess and longtime friend. And
You want me to say something?
no bad jokes.
I promise no bad jokes. But what I do promise is that that you're going to have a really good time. A lot of people put a lot of effort into this event, and we hope to continue it as long as you would like to continue this. And one thing I want to tell you is there's an artist here whose mother has Parkinson's. And when she found out that we were having this fundraiser, she said that any piece of hers that's purchased today, she's going to donate 100% of the proceeds to the Miser Foundation at Ohio State. So if anyone wants to know what pieces they are, they're by a woman by the name of Katie Shores. And these are the pieces that she does. So they're really funny and beautiful painted ceramics, and she also does some stuffed animals that are in the baskets. But it's amazing how many people are touched by this and want to do something special. And I thought that was a really nice thing. And in that spirit, anything you buy today, anything, big or small, I'm going to donate a portion of the proceeds to the foundation as well. So whatever you want, and if you're interested, and if this isn't the time and you want rather come back another day, I'm going to leave that open for the rest of the week. If you want to come back, if you go home and say, oh, I should have gotten that, I'd be happy to write a check for the foundation after all of this is tallied. And I just want everyone to have a wonderful time. And I'm grateful to have you as a friend. I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
So when I need a painting or three, I come see the owner, Haley. Local art does abound on walls all around. Please peruse her unique gallery.
Oh.
So, Parkinson number 1. You're gonna take over, right?
Yeah. This is a relief. Just wait. No, just very quickly, thank you all so much for coming. This is such an important event for our family, and to see all these familiar faces and new faces out here supporting this cause. It just really means a lot. Parkinson #2 was unable to make it. However, through the magic of video and technology and Dropbox, which you older folks might not know anything about. Dave, I'm looking at you.
What's Dropbox?
Oh yeah. We are able to see Eric. So listen up. I think the volume won't be quite as loud, but I've got it cranked up, and a little tribute, a little memorial tribute to some family and friends and a doctor. One moment.
In the past year, we experienced the passing of 3 heroes in the fight against Parkinson's disease. All 3 with deep connections to the Miser family, the Central Ohio community, and the Parkinson's research happening at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Mary Miser, my grandmother, and Dottie Waldorf were leaders within the Central Ohio Parkinson's Society, both with a spouse, Bill and Ted respectively, who lived with Parkinson's disease. Public servants in their own right, professionally, it should come as no surprise how Mary and Dottie stepped up to serve others when faced with the Parkinson's battle. In fact, both Mary and Dottie were recognized by the Parkinson's Society for their efforts, each honored with the Caretaker of the Year award. They were known for encouraging new adventures with their spouses, even as the disease progressed. True to the words of our alma mater, time and change did indeed show us the firm friendship between Mary and Dottie. Their deep friendship carried beyond their Parkinson's connection to Thurber Towers, where they both settled in downtown Columbus and lived out their lives as close friends. Mary passed away last November. Dottie just passed away this September. Both were 94. Together, their passing felt like truly the end of a grand era. And as Terry Waldorf, son of Dottie, shared, I am sure Dottie and your grandmother will be wearing sweaters that say, "Go Bucks" on one side and "Shake Parkinson's" on the other as they watch from above.
One more for you here.
The third hero we remember today, Dr. George Paulson, treated Mary's husband Bill and Dottie's husband Ted with the therapies he helped develop. Dr. Paulson passed away this July at 88. Dr. Paulson first joined the OSU College of Medicine Division of Neurology faculty in 1967. He was founder and first chair of OSU's newly created Department of Neurology. His academic focus was in movement disorders, Parkinson's disease in particular, and he established a Parkinson's Center of Excellence and participated in numerous Parkinson's study groups. He played a key role in developing therapies for Parkinson's disease and related movement disorders which had been mysterious and untreatable. Dr. Paulson published over 300 articles in 8 books. He was chief of staff at OSU from 1991 to 1993. Among his many awards, he received the Distinguished Faculty Award from OSU in 2009 and the Harry Lefevre Award for Neuroscience in 2006. Symbolic of Dr. Paulson's devotion to his patients and their families, the Caretaker of the Year Award received by Mary Miser was actually artwork created by Dr. Paulson's son Chris, an established glass craftsman. Perhaps most impressive about Dr. Paulson, beyond his countless awards and achievements, it was said of him the following: aside from his family, far more than anything else in his life, he enjoyed patience, the human contacts, and the search for a correct diagnosis and best therapy. Indeed, his dreams in later years were almost always related to patient care, and patient care was second only to his beloved Ruth, the joy of his life.
So to continue with this, we need to hand out some songbooks.
Sure.
You're gonna have to share. I think we have 15 copies, so everybody. While the songs are being shared,
I don't know.
this is to the and look at both my brothers like that. We'll try to get through this. Everybody help out. Yeah, this if you haven't been to one of these celebrations, this is sing along. After you hear me singing, you'll understand while it sing along. I'm not here to do anything other than lead you all in singing. So let's sing to the tune of Carmen, Ohio, this song that remembers and honors these three heroes. Oh, come, let's sing caregivers' praise and songs to treatment options raise, while our hearts are beating still. We like a cure in one cheap pill. Summer's heat and winter's cold. May research efforts be quite old. Time and gifts will surely show. PD was shaken. It's no more. I'm trying. That's where David wanted it. As you should.
Not my brother.
You ready? Go ahead.
I think most of you know me. I'm Terry Miser, Rick's better half, and I am honored to do the introduction of Dr. Marola, who is our speaker today. Can't hear me? Okay. Actually, Rick thought he should be the speaker today. I did a comparison of Dr. Marola's credentials versus Rick's to prove to him why he is not the speaker. Dr. Marola, MD, PhD, has been an invited speaker at 15 national and international meetings. Rick has never been invited to speak. Generally, he's asked to shut up. Dr. Marola has written medical textbook chapters such as Pathophysiology of the Autonomic Nervous System. Rick has written A to Z, a book about animals farting.
Yeah.
Dr. Marola is author, contributor to about 80 peer-reviewed journal articles. Rick is the author of many, many bad limericks. Dr. Marola is the new program director of deep brain stimulation at the Wexner Medical Center. Rick shows no brain stimulation.
Yeah, but I believe Dr. Marola went to that school up north. The one we aren't allowed to mention unless we say we hate the whole state of it.
What are you talking about? Let me read this to you very slowly. He graduated from the University of Torino in northern Italy. Now step away from the mic as we welcome Dr. Marola to Shake Parkinson's Now 2019.
So, thank you very much. It's true. I usually speak in public frequently, but today I feel a little bit embarrassed because such an introduction is not common. So thank you. Can you hear me well? Oh,
Yes.
very good.
Stay on the microphone.
Okay.
We can, yeah, if you can go up.
So I've been asked to speak about research in Parkinson, and I didn't do my homework because I didn't prepare a formal talk. So I would like to just go with the flow and feel free to ask questions whenever you want. I think that speaking of Parkinson, the most important point we have to ask ourselves is what is Parkinson? So today in 2020, Parkinson is still the definition that was given more than 200 years ago by Sir James Parkinson in 1817 in England, and he observed 6 patients. He was a very insightful man, so from the observation of 6 patients, he understood there was a pattern. And this pattern is what we still today recognize as Parkinson. However, I mean, after 200 years, genomics, we sent a man on the moon, we did a lot of research, there is a lot of advancement, we know something more about that. So it's not just tremor, rigidity, and bradykinesia, but there is a lot more. So over the last 15-20 years, more than 20 genes have been discovered and associated with Parkinson. People frequently ask why Parkinson runs in the family and in 10-15% of cases, and why it doesn't in the others. That's because not every single type of Parkinson is the same. There are some type of Parkinson that have a DNA inheritance, which means that can be transmitted, sometimes from one generation to the other, sometimes skipping generations. Some other type of Parkinson are what we call today sporadic, which means it's a fancy word to say that we have no idea. But speaking of therapy, so what really drove me into research was the idea of I was the kind of guy that when I was a kid, I used to disassemble my toys just to see how they worked. And I found that was kind of fulfilling because understanding how things work in the mind of a kid is very, so compelling, trying to figure out how to make this work. And today I'm trying to figure out how some more complex things work. And that I think is the best part of our job. Of course, most of my toys didn't work later when I tried to put them together. And in the same way, sometimes we have frustrations. We have great ideas, we truly believe in that, but sometimes we still miss some point. I feel we are in a huge step-up situation in which technology is really making a big difference. So today, if we want to look into the entire DNA of a human being, it costs us something like $600. We can take a sample of blood, send it to a lab, and with $600, we have a huge amount of data that tells us everything about the DNA of this person. In 2001, the same project costed $10 million. So technology is really shrinking the cost of research. Computers are really making a huge advance in the way we can process information, and so we can also find the solutions. And I truly believe that within the next 20 years, we will be able to make some major step up in these regards. For instance, we are trying now to understand which patients are the best candidates for which therapy. So this is called the personalized medicine, and it's the idea that when I see a patient, rather than proposing a therapy like saying one size fits all, we try to say what's the best therapy for you, and that's a part of our research. So we are looking into the DNA, figuring out whether each patient has different genetic mutations and which mutation fits better with deep brain stimulation and which not. Sometimes patients come to my office asking for deep brain stimulation, and I honestly tell them, I don't think that's the best option for you. And the reason for that is because based on a number of data, I know that the outcome might be better with a different therapy. This is the type of research we're going to do. It's not that ambitious like the research of fixing or curing Parkinson at all, but it's a huge advancement in terms of quality of life. And this is one of the points, that's what brought me into the brain stimulation. Some patients, for instance, they don't want to do the brain stimulation because it's brain surgery. So brain surgery means opening the skull, risk of infections, risk of complications, and we have other options for that. There is what is called the focused ultrasound, and I'm proud to say that the Ohio State is one of the 3 centers in the country that does a focused ultrasound for Parkinson's disease and essential tremor. Dr. Krishna in particular, he gained extensive experience. And the great part of this therapy is that there's no surgery, there's no pain. And we can do it also in patients that might not be the best candidate for the brain stimulation. However, we're still on a learning curve. There is a lot that we have to do in order to further improve our approaches. Something that is really unique at the Ohio State and comes from the combination of neurology and neurosurgery is what is called gene therapy. Gene therapy means this is really cool, so I want to spend a couple of words about that. So gene therapy is basically this. Researchers can take a virus, so something that usually we don't like to have in our body, but they can open this virus and take away from the virus all of the bad material. And instead of the bad material, they can put good material in there. Good material like BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factors. In other words, like a super vitamin that is called neurotrophic factor, so helps neurons to thrive. And so we use the virus ability to infect the body, but rather than infecting with something bad, we change the containment. And we infect the body, the brain, with something good, which are these neurotrophic factors, which are basically kind of super vitamins. We are now in the stage of starting a stage 1 study. Phase 1 study means that this is really the beginning of an entire process. If it works, it will become a stage 2, stage 3, and then it will be eventually commercialized in 10 years from now. And we are now at Ohio State doing the first step, which is very important. Sandra coordinated that at the beginning. Then later she's an important person, so she's busy with administration, you know.
It is a tea.
And but that's one of the reasons why I decided to come here. So I got 3 offers. I got to UCLA, University of Utah, beautiful nature there, and the Ohio State University. I had no doubt taking this one because of the team, because of the potential that there is here, and also because I like Ohio, actually. I came from Italy. I had no idea where it was. I got my first job in Cincinnati, coming from Europe. I really didn't know where it was very well. And after 3 years, I think I'm going to stay here forever. Thank you.
I think so.
If there is any question, I'm happy to take it.
What's that noise?
What was the term that you said beyond the brain stimulation? Did you say focus?
Focus ultrasound.
Ultrasound? Focus ultrasound? Okay.
So, focused ultrasound, what does it mean? Ultrasounds have been used for investigation. So ultrasounds can penetrate the body and are generally used for diagnosis. So for instance, when a woman is pregnant, you can see the baby with the ultrasound. But the ultrasound can also be focused and they become a way to deliver energy. Something similar to a laser, but differently from a laser, we can focus them like a radiotherapy. They can go through the skull and activate specific regions of the brain without lesioning anything else. So sometimes when I joke with the neurosurgeon, I say this is something like of a super complex microwave. That's a little bit of the idea.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, for those of you who have been coming to this from the beginning, you know we have a song that's kind of become the theme song for this event, and it's Parkinsonaville. And Rick took the tune and put some words to it, and this year, to add a little bit of island influence, we're going to try it with the ukulele instead of the guitar. So if that fails, we'll just finish and go a cappella with it. But we'll try to do it. So again, this is all sing along. And you know, we've done this so many times. I expect to hear some really strong contributions from those of you out here in the participating audience. Nibbling on shortcake that Terry just made. One of my symptoms is starting to roll. On a faux 6 string, watch my hand swing. With some of my movements I'm losing control. Just keep singing. Waiting for my last shaker to halt. Some people claim the DNA is to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. Last racquetball season, for no friggin' reason. Got double vision, boy, am I screwed. Now it's a real beauty, Parkinson's cutie. And how it got me, I haven't a clue. Wasting time again in Parkinsonaville. Waiting for my last shaker to halt. Some people claim that the environment's to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. Throughout my flip-flops, made my left foot drop. Made me stumble, had to cruise on back home. But there's a sun who will bend me. Drugs, Medicare's gonna send me a chosen concoction that helps me hang on. Wasting time again in Parkinsonaville. Waiting for my last shaker to halt. Some people claim that Lady Luck is to blame, but I know it isn't her fault. Yes, now some people claim that Lady Luck is to blame, but I know it isn't her fault. Okay, here's
It's
the
gonna hold the
deal.
water.
Our original goal was $50,000 because that's what we needed in 5 years to get an endowed fund. So we made that in about 3 years, and now we're getting close to 100,000. Actually, the balance is let's see, today is $93,872.54. I gave the 54. So I do have one more limerick, I guess, that is appropriate for fundraising because that's what we're doing. There once was a guy with PD, 1 in a million was he. To shake Parkinson's now, he said, this is how. Don't give like Rick, miser Lee. All right. You got another one in because you didn't like that one. Shake Parkinson's now, please don't wait. A cure for PD would be great. Give to OSU our fund number's the key. It's 645098. All right, and I think we have one more song. Is that right?
2 more. 2 more, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's enough limericks. We got one more song.
What is it?
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Should be next.
Actually, before we do this, I have one quick message for everybody here. It may seem kind of surprising, but President Trump sent a card. There's the front of the card. He usually tweets, but Rick and this fund are so special to him that he spent this note. And I quote, Melodia and I heard you are doing a parking zone fundraiser and that it's a really marvelous event. You guys do a fantastic job, and many people are saying that we need more parking zones. I'll tell you, sometimes I have a heck of a time finding a parking spot. But hey, this isn't about me. And I know Nick is a super guy. He does a great job. And I want to make a donation to the Miser Family Parking Zone Fund. All I ask in return is that you support putting me on the $1 bill and making me the father of our country. And I just want to say, this is not one of those Squid Pro Go deals. When did Squid start playing sports anyhow? Your no wait, that's a typo. Your friend, the Donald. So congratulations. I'm sure the check will be coming along at some point.
Thank you, Trevor. That was the best.
Better than a limerick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, this is Rick's latest song. Every year he comes up with another idea, and so for those of you Beatles aficionados, and even if you're not, you all know the tune Hey Jude. We're going to do Hey Dude. Sing along. Hey Jude, your checks aren't bad. Just endorse them and make them better. Remember to put gifts into your cart, then you can start to make it better. Hey dude, don't be afraid. You were made to be a big giver. The minute you turn us onto your pen, then you begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, hey dude, refrain. Don't put your gift in the wrong fun folder. Although you know that Rick's a fool, it's still not cool that Parkinson's makes his world much colder. Na 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 na. Hey dude, don't let us down. You have charged hard, now go and use them. Remember to offer gifts from your heart, then you can start to make it better. So get 'em out and put 'em in. Hey dude, begin. We're waiting for your chip confirmation. And don't you know it's up to you? Hey dude, you'll do whatever is needed to shake Parkinson. Now, 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 now. Hey dudes, and dudettes too. You are part of the Miser family fun. Remember, when we get under your skin, then you'll begin to make it better, 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 better. Oh, H-I-O. Now, 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 now. Take Parkinson's right now. Now, 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 now. Shake Parkinson's right now. Now, 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 now. Shake Parkinson's right now. So I will conclude this very quickly. So I have a copy here of the Miser Family, excuse me, Parkinson's Disease Research Fund, and it was approved by the Board of Trustees April 7th, 2017. And I read it very carefully, and of course it starts out with the same stuff. The Board of Trustees approved this, but then it goes on to say, and I'm sure most of you, especially the physicians involved here, didn't read this part, but it goes on to say, once the fund surpasses 100,000, the Movement Disorders Division in the Department of Neurology shall eradicate the disease within 24 months.
Yes.
Preferably put in the cure in one cheap pill. So right now our chart shows we're at about 90,000. I'm confident we'll surpass 100,000 by January 1st, 2020. So that gives you researchers until January 1st, 2022 to have my cure. And any of you that remember the old show, The A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. Thank you. Let's see. I know I have some more bad jokes, but I'm gonna let you all get drinks, and then you can sneak out before I get started again. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So a string walks into the bar, goes up to the bartender, and orders a drink. And the bartender looks at him and he says, "You're a string. We don't serve your kind here." So the string walks out, goes down the street and finds a public restroom. Goes in, takes the top part of his string and pulls it all apart like this, and then looking in the mirror, loops around and pulls himself up tight. He goes walking back down the street, walks into the bar, goes up to the bartender and orders the drink. Bartender says, "We've been here before. We don't serve your kind. You're a string." And the string said, "No, I'm afraid not."
Sure. How much lower do you want me to go?
Now, you people in my Parkinson's exercise class can't chip in on this one. What kind of a fish does brain surgery? It's a neurosturgeon. All right.
Bottom feeder. Very good, Rick.
You want me to start it now?
Yep.
And start it again when